Hey, what's up guys? Welcome back to another episode. We are back out here with the 351 Fox. Today we are going to work on some carburetor tuning. I might have to film this over a couple of different days. It'll all be the same video, but I'm kind of doing this after I get off of work and I only got an hour or two to mess around. So I'm gonna try and do a little bit of tuning on the carb. Every time I've driven it, it's just really rich and it's just not wanting to take all the fuel that this carburetor's throwing at it. And to be completely honest, I'm not much of a carburetor expert, so we're gonna kind of fiddle around with it and learn as we go. So I'm gonna go ahead and get some heat in this thing, and then we'll kind of get started on playing with the fuel settings and stuff like that. So yeah, I'm gonna go do that. Oh, also don't forget to get entered into the giveaway. All you have to do is subscribe to the channel. You're automatically entered in. But yeah, let's go ahead and get some heat in this thing, and I will check back with you in a few minutes. All right, so got her all nice and warmed up. It's idling right around that 12.7-ish range, and it just stumbles when it tries to take the fuel, and it's just not crisp and doing what I want it to. So I'm gonna start off with the idle circuit. I did get a jet kit, so if we need to go down in jets, we definitely have that option. But I just want to start with the idle circuit for now. So I got my handy dandy carburetor tuner-o-matic. So we're going to start off with the idle screws, and we'll see where these were set first. So half. These were half a turn out. That's pretty interesting. Let's see what this one's at. Not even half. That's pretty interesting, actually. Okay, so we are probably going to need to go down a size in jets on this idle circuit. So I think we'll start there and see what that does. All right, I've got the metering block out, and it has 66s in it. So I think we'll just drop it down to a 65 and see what happens there. This carburetor doesn't have a ton of adjustment on it. Like, I don't have air bleed jets or anything like that on here. It seems like it kind of just is what it is. But with the idle screws only being half a turn out and it's still running that rich, I'm not 100% sure, to be honest. I really don't know. So I think we'll just try and change the jets, see what happens. I mean, that's the only change I really can make, so let's do it. All right, not sure how well you can see that, but I've got the 65s in there now. So we'll see what kind of difference that makes. So I'm gonna put it back together here and start it up and see what happens. Okay, so after fighting with this thing for a little bit, getting gas everywhere, I got the jets changed out, I also adjusted the float bowl height. It was just pouring out of here. So according to the manual, you're supposed to have your float level to where the fuel just trickles out of the bottom of the threads of this plug. So I initially tried it and it was just dumping out of here. So I cranked that float level down so that it was just barely trickling out of the bottom of this. I checked the back too, and the back was good already. So I'm not sure why the front was so far out of whack, but we got the jets changed, we got the float level set, so I think we start it up and see what happens. Okay, so it fired right up and it sounds pretty good. I haven't looked at the AFR yet. Idling at like almost perfect. 14.7. I mean, 14.7 is technically perfect. We're also idling right at like 900, which is what I want. So I don't know if I just got super flippin' lucky my first try on this carb or what. I would like to actually richen that up just a tiny bit, but I can do that from the idle circuit. I can do that with those idle screws. I just need to back them out probably 1/8 of a turn, not even. So I'm actually really excited about that. That's insane. Still doesn't want to take any fuel though. But it's definitely doing a lot better on those kind of quick throttle pops. It also cooled down quite a bit. We're at 136 degrees of water temp. Oil still looks good. That's really nice to see. But yeah, we're idling in the mid 14s. And it is definitely taking the throttle a lot better. So we're now idling a little high. I'm going to turn the idle down just a touch, and then I'm also going to let this run for a little bit and let it get fully warmed up, and then we'll see where we're actually idling, because it hasn't really settled down yet. So I'm going to let this run for a little bit, let it idle, and then I'll check on it and I'll update you guys on any update, any changes that I make. So far, so good though. Okay, so I adjusted the idle screw a little bit and it's not really responding to my changes on here. And if you notice or remember from when I built the car, I just kind of jerry-rigged up my own throttle bracket and just used some random springs and stuff. And unfortunately, it's just not pulling. The springs aren't pulling hard enough for it to return back to what it needs to idle at. So I need to get either just add more springs or get an actual throttle spring to pull it all the way back so that it idles right. Because if I let go of this, it idles back up to that like 1200. But if I pull on it, it drops it back down to like that 800. And adjusting this idle screw just isn't doing it. I mean, overall though, it's taking fuel way better and it sounds fantastic. It's fully warmed up now. We're sitting at 183, 184. And we're idling basically exactly where I wanted to for the ratios. So we're in the mid 13s now, which is pretty much exactly what I was wanting. So that one jet change made a big difference. That did exactly what I needed it to. So the reason getting this tuned was so important, obviously drivability and all of that stuff, which I'm not gonna do it tonight, but it'll still be a part of this video. But I'm gonna take it out and drive it and actually see how the drivability changed on it. But that part that I told you about in the last video finally showed up. So now that this thing is tuned pretty well, we can get that new part installed and then we can get real rowdy. So I think that's where I'm gonna end it for tonight. Like I said, this video, it'll all be one video, it'll be multiple days. But I'm gonna end filming tonight, and then I will catch back up with you guys when I am back with the Foxbody. Hey guys, all right, so it's been a couple of days. We are back with the Foxbody. Last time we were out here, quick recap just for myself. We did some tuning on the carburetor, got the jets down by one size, got the float bowl adjusted, got that at the proper level. The car was running pretty dang good. It was taking throttle a heck of a lot better and all of that. So that was awesome. Today, we are going to install that new part that I've been talking about. Like I said, it finally showed up and I am stoked. I can't wait to get this installed. It is ridiculously cold out today, but I don't think we have many nice days ahead of us anymore this year. So, yeah, like I said, I'm excited to get this installed. So, whatever, I'm gonna be a little cold to do it. So, the new part, we are throwing on an MSD two-step controller. This is going to be awesome for launching at the track and all of that stuff, being able to dial in the RPM that we launch at and everything like that. And on top of that, we're gonna be able to make cool loud pops and bangs and all that fun stuff, which will be sweet. I mean, what the hell? So that's what we're gonna work on today. We are gonna get that installed and hopefully give it a little test, as long as everything goes good, which I think it will. This seems to be pretty straightforward on the install. I've got the MSD ignition system already in here, and this is a unit that attaches right to that. There is a little bit of extra wiring and stuff that you got to throw on here. But like I said, it all seems pretty straightforward. So I am going to get started on that. Okay, so looking at all of the stuff here, it looks pretty simple. The instructions are pretty straightforward. So I've got everything laid out here. So I've got my two-step controller. I've got the button that I'm going to use to activate it. I'm gonna put this on the steering wheel. For now, I'm just gonna zip tie it, but we'll basically press the button, go bang, bang, pop, pop, bang, bang, let it go and launch. So pretty simple there. We've got a pretty good amount of wiring, and then this kit actually came with some connections and some extra wire and stuff. So yeah, overall, seems like it's a pretty nice kit. So basically, you got your MSD box, you've got your gray output from the MSD ignition box that goes to your tach. So you're going to attach the gray wire here to that, pretty simple. Black is going to be ground, again, pretty simple. Got that here. Red is going to be a direct power, so 12 volt, super easy. And then blue is going to end up going to the switch. And then of course the switch will go to 12 volt. So you'll have your switch input, you'll hit the button, it will allow power to go into the box and basically tell it to start working. And then you'll have your main power. This red 12 volt will be your main power. So I'm assuming that there's like a relay or something built into this box. But yeah, overall it's a pretty sweet setup here. And it should be pretty cool to see it in action. So like I said, I've got everything laid out here, and I am gonna get started putting connections on the ends of these wires. And then I think for this, I'm just gonna mount this next to the MSD ignition box that's in there. That way they're close together, and it should make it easy to adjust. And you know, if I need to turn the RPM up or down or whatever, I've got quick, easy adjustment points there. So yeah. Okay, so it's been about an hour. I got everything wired in according to the diagram, according to the instructions. So I've got the controller mounted right down here. I've got it on the actual box, so we'll see how that works. I've got power and ground all ran to it, got it wired up to a little push button. I've just got this zip tied onto the steering wheel for now. We'll get an actual mount here eventually, but for testing purposes it'll work. So got it on this little switch here. So like I said, it's freezing cold, so I'm gonna try and get the car started, and we'll give this a test whirl and see what the heck happens. Okay, we got the main power on. Let's see here. So, ignition, gauges, fuel. I have a feeling we're gonna need a pretty good amount of choke. Yeah, 30 degrees of water temperature. Okay, actually fired up a little easier than I thought, which is awesome. So my only concern here actually, okay, so when I was doing it earlier, there's an LED light on here and it was staying on, and I was like, what the heck, just when I turned on the power. But now that the car is running, that LED light turned on, and when I hit the button, the LED light comes on. So I think we're good. So let's let this choke out a little bit. Oh, not that much. Like I said, it's really cold. Thing does not want to run. See if we can help it out a little. There we go. Just so damn cold out here. I'm not ready for summer to be over. Neither is the car, apparently. There we go. Liking that a little more. I'm gonna fight with this thing and get it warmed up. I'll turn this camera on again as soon as it's fully warmed up. All right, so we are at 166 degrees of water temp. Idling good. AFR is a little rich, but oil pressure's looking good. So, moment of truth. See if this works. I've never had a car with two-step before, so I'm a little nervous. I've got it set really low right now. It's set to 2000, which is the lowest setting it can go on there. So here goes nothing. So we press the button and we press the gas. Jesus. It works. Holy f. That was a hell of a pop. Good Lord. Let's try it one more time. Let's put you down here. Wow. It works. That is insane. Sick. Well, I've already seen some neighbors out here. I'm pretty sure the cops are gonna get called if we keep doing this. So I think we put it away for the night. But wow, it works. That is awesome. Like I said, I've never had a car with two-step before, so I wasn't sure what to expect. But everything still seems healthy. It's not making any funny noises up front. Holy crap, that's awesome. Okay, so that is where I am gonna call it for the night and probably for this video. It is ridiculously cold out, and it's getting dark. So yeah, I mean, we got a lot of great work done to this thing. We got the carburetor tuned, and that is running really nice and crisp now. We got two-step installed, which is insane. I looked back on the footage here, and it actually shot a flame out of the passenger side exhaust when it popped. That was sweet. So yeah, next video we'll do some more messing around with this thing, get it out on the street, drive it. Hopefully we don't have snow too soon and we can actually still enjoy the car some more. But yeah, like I said, I'm gonna call it for the video tonight and do some editing and try and get this posted as soon as I can. So yeah, thank you so much for watching. Thank you guys for all of the support. Don't forget, on the giveaway, subscribe to the channel. You'll get an awesome Crusty Carb sticker. We're giving away 100 of them. All you have to do is subscribe. And thank you so much for everyone who has subscribed already. And again, you know, thank you all for the continued support on this. This has been a really fun project, and it's been really fun sharing it with y'all. So again, yeah, thank you so much for watching, and we'll see you in the next one.